All right, you guys, we're back, and we are now in the off season. Not officially yet. We're actually in the NFC Championship week. I just kind of wanted to see who was where. And right now, the Chargers have the 1 seed in the AFC, and they are playing against the Bengals in the AFC Championship. And in the NFC Championship, the Lions, who we just barely lost to, are in the championship game against the Cowboys. So we'll see who wins it. I am kind of curious to see because we did make sure that the Chiefs won the last Super Bowl to make sure it was, true to real life. But look at the Pro Bowl roster and see if we have anyone in the Pro Bowl. I don't expect to have anybody really. Cabinda's in there. And let's see, anyone else from us? We could have an O lineman in here potentially. I'm not seeing one. Hutchinson, J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Trenton Simpson, the linebacker that got drafted by the Falcons, Carter, Smith, Jackson, Lattimore, Okuda, Jair Alexander. We don't even have Carlton Davis in here. Jimmy Ward. Do we have a returner? Troy Pride is a punt returner, but he wasn't even the great returner for us. It was Jalen Hyatt. All right, well, okay, that's weird. All right, well, in the Super Bowl, we have the Cowboys versus the Bengals, and we will see who wins. Let's check it out. We're going to go into the offseason week 1, and the Super Bowl was won by the Cowboys by 3 points. We'll see who won Super Bowl MVP, and it was Dak Prescott. Looking at the yearly awards, Herbert won MVP, Zach Taylor won Coach of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year was won by Traquan Smith. Defensive Player of the Year by Max Crosby. Anthony Richardson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Giants. And Antonio Johnson wins Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Chiefs. If you were at all curious how Traquan Smith won Offensive Player of the Year, he had 1,500 receiving yards and 19 touchdowns. And I'm not sure if he was already start of, but he is start of now. And he's not even an 80 overall. So, kind of weird. All right, in this week, we do have some upgrades to a couple players, and most of them are practice squad players. Jaleel Billingsley, if you remember, we drafted him. He's a backup tight end. We're going to auto-upgrade these players. We're not too concerned. We don't want to waste time on that. We want to get into the draft as quickly as possible. We want to get into free agency as quickly as possible. So let's go on and see if there's any players we want to re-sign. We've already tried to re-sign Julio. We don't want to pay him more. He's going to regress even further. Let's do look at mock draft number 3. I'm curious to see who they have us taking. All right, looks like they have us taking Dominique McKenzie, and Taylor George is going number 2 to the Vikings, which is interesting to see. Even though, again, I guess it just depends on the scouting that's been done, but he's not a top 5 talent. We'll see what happens, but this is the order currently. And we have more than one first. We have a second first, and that is number 16 right now, and they have us taking Michael Davis. He's projected around 3 or 4. We're not going to take him that high. Definitely not. We have some other players we're looking at, but Ethan Wright might be that guy that we're looking to get because Ethan Wright could potentially be a generational tight end as well, looking at his stats. B catching traffic, A catching, A run block, between A and B deep route, 6'3" with great to elite speed, great to elite agility, good to great change of direction and acceleration. And skills, other skills he's got A awareness, he's got A pass block, A run block, A catching, A spectacular catch, B catching traffic. Could very well be a generational tight end. So we'll see. We're going to look at the 2023 retirements, see if we have any players that have retired or any significant players that are retiring. And Cordarrelle decided to retire. We do have some. Julio retires and Ryan Succop retires. Thank God, because we were not bringing him back. Levante David, who we decided to trade away, decided to retire for the Bears. So that ended up actually working out really well for us. He only ended up playing, this season and then retiring. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, the beginning of the NFL draft. Coming off of the worst season in the NFL, we get the number 1 overall pick legitimately without trading for it. And we are taking Dominique McKenzie, who could very well be let's see, he's got 97 speed, 91 excel, 93 change of direction, 93 agility, 88 jumping, 70 strength, at 6'1" with hidden dev. He absolutely could be a generational corner with the number 1 pick, and that would be huge. I mean, Carlton is taking $18 million per year. Taylor George does go number 2, But Carlton Davis is taking 18 mil per year from us, and that's not really super sustainable, even though he's up to superstar dev. Jamel Dean is making about 13 mil per year, and his contract is up in 1 year. And we're going to skip a little bit forward. We're going to see the Dolphins take Gerald Priestley, who is a solid defensive end or, edge rusher. The Steelers grab Kenya Burton, the right tackle. The Seahawks draft Justice Fowler, another very good edge rusher that we were looking at a little bit. Blake Barden goes at left tackle to the Broncos. Devin Donald, the middle linebacker, goes for the Bears. The Raiders take Darren Waddle. That is a reach right there. That's a reach. He is not very good. Manny McNeil, we were eyeing him a little bit. He got picked a lot higher than I was expecting, getting taken number 9 to the Rams. But Manny McNeil is good at 6'8". Randall Benjamin, another really good edge rusher, gets taken by the Commanders. The Commanders have a stockpile of good defensive linemen, although we did take Montez from them, so I could see it. Malcolm Harper going, the right guard, to the Texans. The Falcons getting Trevon Colbert, and he is a really good D tackle. Junior Stokes, another good edge. There were a lot of good edges in this draft class, I felt like. Kenny Stafford going, right tackle from Alabama, to the Pats. Zach Fuller gets taken, and this is where we draft. Most likely, this could be 2 generational players in the first round for us. I think Ethan Wright is a generational tight end. We will see if he is. We'll see what the stats say, but he looks like maybe the best receiving tight end I've ever seen. He's hidden dev. He's got 88 speed, 68 strength, 80 jumping, 82 change of direction, 88 excel, 87 agility. He, again, has, look at all these different categories. A run block, A pass block, A catching, A spectacular catch, A awareness, B break tackle. Where's his route running too? His route running is also very good as well. His deep route is A to B, and his medium route is B to C. His short route is C to D. His short route's not great. That's the only thing that's a little bit of a downer. If it's a C, that's whatever. But, yeah, he could very well, I think he could be generational. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we're going to move forward a couple more picks, and I'm going to try to trade up. We have a number of second-round picks. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 second-round picks, and I want to try to trade up and steal Bob Berry in the first round, who could be a very good quarterback. He has really good throw power. He is technically a scrambler, but he's kind of just good at everything. He's got very good accuracy as well. Frank Cooper gets taken out of Stanford, the corner. And so Bob Berry is supposed to go in a couple of picks. We were looking at Akins a little bit, the left guard. The Eagles take Monte Hamilton. I feel like that's a little bit of a reach. They said the wide receiver class was really deep. I actually didn't like the wide receiver class. The Cardinals take Colin Driver. And the Ravens are going to take Sterling Dixon, a very good DT. There was a lot of talent on the D-line, but we are already pretty good across the D-line. Carl Whitfield going to the Chiefs. I think that's a little bit of a reach too. The safeties were not very good in this draft class, but we'll see. Tyler Gilmore, I didn't really scout him, the left end. He is going to the Giants. The Jets are taking Colin Wall, and so another QB off the board. And number 27, the Titans are going to take John Meadows, the running back that our assistant GM wanted us to take a look at. And we are going to try to trade here. We're going to try to trade with the Packers. We're offering a second, third, and a fourth for the 28th pick, and they take it. And those were all of our later second and third round picks, too. So they weren't some of our top of the second round picks. So we are going to keep our 33rd overall pick as well. And now that we've moved up, we are going to take Bob Berry. You guys may have seen him throughout the season. We've taken a look at him before. Colin Wall comes off the board before him, and so does Taylor George. But Bob Berry, look at his accuracy. He's got Bs across the board, and under pressure he's got Bs. He's got a fast, prototypical throwing motion. Not sure if that's the best one or not, but look at his stats as well. Throw power is good. He's first in 40-yard dash. He's up there in bench, vertical, broad, 3-cone drill, 20-yard shuttle. Any additional skills? His injury is an F. That's the only concern. That's why I didn't want to draft him too high. He's around 1 to 2 talent. Play action is a C. Short accuracy we already talked about. Throw on the run is a B. Spin is an A, which, that doesn't really matter. Carrying is a B. Awareness is an A. And the only thing that's concerning is the injury. But we're going to take him, and he should be hidden dev, and he is. He's got 91 throw power. He's got 88 speed and 91 excel with 88 agility. All right, and the reason we didn't trade with the Lions is because I feel like we have a little bit of bad blood with the Lions after we lost late in the game. And so the Lions take Gregory Burbank, the right tackle out of Oklahoma, and the Chargers were projected to take a QB here, but now they take Lorenzo Dell, the corner. The Bengals are going to take Andrew Rodriguez, the outside linebacker, and we have one pick ahead of us before we make our next one, and the Cowboys, the Super Bowl winners, take Devontae Mallard. All right, we have the first pick of the second round, and I want to explain my thought process. So, obviously, the running game has been an issue. We have our future quarterback potentially, but we need a better run game. Rachaad White, we've given an opportunity to. Leonard Fournette also has star dev. He's a little bit older. We have built up the interior of the O-line by getting ourselves a left guard. We have good outside linemen in Paris Johnson and in Tristan Wirfs. We're going to continue in this draft to look at additional interior offensive line to make the run game better. We also drafted Ethan Wright, who is a pretty good run blocker and pass blocker, but we are drafting a running back at the number 1 pick of the second round, and I wasn't initially sold on him, but Patrick Geddes is a power back with a ball carrier vision, a break tackle, a carry, sort of in the similar mold to Leonard Fournette. But the thing that stood out to me most is in his college pro day, he ran a 4.38 and did 27 bench. He had the sixth best vertical. He had the second best broad, and his 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle are not fantastic. But other than that, his stiff arm is pretty good. His juke is just god-awful. He is like kind of a one-cut back. He's very fast. And we are taking him here and hoping that he is hidden dev. And he's normal dev. God damn it. He's got 92 speed, 90 excel, 88 agility, 77 change of direction, which is pretty piss. His strength is pretty good. His jumping is pretty good. We'll have to see if it was a reach or not. The fact that he's not hidden dev hurts for sure. Our next pick is coming up in 6 picks. So we're going to go ahead and not skip through. We're going to see who gets taken. Sharif Bruce, the left tackle, goes to the Vikings. Kobe Fox goes. See, again, there are a lot of defensive linemen that are very good in this draft, but we just don't really need any more. We can't even get them all on the field right now. Cam Whiting is going to the Seahawks. Zach Northrup we were looking at, and he also looks pretty good. Here, this may be a tad bit of a reach because there are round 1 to 2 talents still on the board. I do like Alex West. He is looking pretty good. He's got B finesse, C power, and he's technically a run stopper with B tackle. He is, how tall is he? He is 6'6", 314, and he's got a 4'9", 140. He's got great speed, great excel, elite strength. I do like him, but again, we have Vita Vea and we have Logan Hall, so I am not sure that I want to take him. And Nazir Givens is another player I was looking at. He's got A finesse. His power moves kind of suck. His block shedding is pretty good. Potentially, he's the fastest with a 4.740. But he is more of, again, a pure speed D tackle. And we don't really need that. All right, because we have another pick coming up fairly soon, I am taking Alex West. And we don't need him necessarily. He's normal dev. He's at 94 strength, 74 speed, 82 excel. I think he could be important on the team, though. He's got A play rec, B finesse again. And I think that he could eventually take over if we can't keep Vita Vea on the team. But just more depth across the D-line. We've had a lot of injuries this season as well across the D-line, so it wasn't a need, but I like getting him on the team. The only thing that sucks is that he's normal dev. Now, here is where I'm making my very important selection of a very good coverage linebacker. And I'm not talking about Michael Davis, although I do like Michael Davis. I'm talking about Brian Spriggs. This dude, 5'11", kind of similar to Devin Bush or Devin White. He ran a 4.49 40, which I don't see very often out of linebackers. He's got number 1 in the 3-cone drill, number 2 in the 20-yard shuttle. He's got elite speed and excel. He's got A zone, B tackling. His block shed is at least not an F, it's a D. His stamina is not super high. His injury is not super great. his pursuit, as long as his man is pursuit and his play rec are solid, I'm very happy with his pick. His awareness is at worst to see. We're taking him, and he is normal dev. He has 87 speed, 88 agility, 89 excel. I feel like he should have higher speed than 87. Running a 4.49, he should definitely have higher speed in my opinion. Unfortunate that he is not hidden dev. All right, we are taking, at the beginning of the third round, Ben Jackson. We don't know a lot about him. Physically, he is a very good center, but we don't know how good he could be. As low as a C in a lot of these categories, but he could also be a diamond in the rough, and he has hidden dev. Let's go. He's got 73 speed, 84 excel. Change of direction isn't great, but his strength is fantastic, and I think we may have hit on a really good center potentially. Unfortunately, Michael Davis went to the Commanders in the third round before we could take him, the 6'2 run stopper, outside linebacker, and that is who we were going to take. But at this point in the third round, we did a lot of scouting, so we have plenty of players that could fill in for this draft pick. All right, we don't have a lot of prospects we want to take at this point. If we didn't get Bob Berry, I was going to consider taking Jordan Richards at this point, but now it's kind of redundant. We don't need to take him. A lot of the players we're looking to draft later on are day 3 players, and we're still in the end of the third round, so we are taking another shot. We're taking another shot at an outside linebacker. That's a pass coverage linebacker that could be a middle linebacker if we're staying in 3-4. But if we go to 4-3, he could fit as a right or left outside linebacker. And he's got no block shed. He does have hidden dev, though. So our other outside linebacker did not have hidden dev, and that was Brian Spriggs. But Keenan Ross does have hidden dev with the 86 speed. The only thing that's a bummer is that 86 speed, is that really elite speed for an outside linebacker? At 5'11", I don't feel like it is. His jumping is very low, too. All right, I had to stop for a second. Cameron Meekins was a day 3 player, and we're in the 4th round right now, and he just got picked up by the Falcons, and that pisses me off because he is also a really good middle linebacker, and we're going to have to see what his stats are. With our next pick, we are going to be taking Tyron McKenzie, an outside linebacker that is more of a traditional run stopper. He's got decent block shed, good tackling, 8 hit power, pretty fast at 6'2", and we'll see if he's any good. He has normal dev, 82 speed, 85 excel. Not exactly what I was expecting. All right, there's one more player that kind of intrigues me, and it is Josh Yancey here. We already drafted 2 dudes that are exactly like Josh Yancey, but we're in the 6th round at this point, and he's projected around 2 to 3. His physicals are great. I mean, so it must be his skill set that's awful. We still don't really know. His block shed is between a B and a D. His pursuit's between an A and a C, and so is the same for his tackle and zone. We're taking him here in the 6th round, hoping that maybe he's something, just taking a blind shot. But that is our last pick in the draft. We drafted 3 coverage linebackers. I think that was a pretty big need, though, admittedly. Like we talked about it all season, that the middle part of the field, whether it's, corner routes and our corners need to be better. We drafted a corner to stop that. We need, interior pass coverage linebackers to help out Devin White a little bit. All right, looking at the draft recap. Oh, my God. We got one, boys. We got a generational corner, 84 overall as a rookie. I've never seen anything like this. 97 speed, 82 man, 78 zone, 80 play rec, basically 91 excel, 93 agility, 90 press, 66 tackle, 88 jumping. It's a 58 block shed, almost 80 hit power. And, God, he's the 22nd best corner in the NFL already. And, I'm pretty sure he is generational. Should we check and look to see if he's X Factor? I would if this was like a rebuild video. But since it's our franchise, I won't cheat. But in 84 overall, man, it has to be Superstar X Factor. And has to be a generational corner, right? Without a doubt. Ethan Wright is a 75 overall. May not be generational like we may have thought. He's not that high in blocking, even though they gave him, an A for run and pass blocking. His blocking looks pretty good. I think the problem is that his strength isn't too high. His lead block is a little bit low, but he looks like he could become a very good route running tight end for us. Not the typical mold that I like to see. I like the 6'6" and 6'7" and 6'5" tight ends. But at 6'3", Irv Smith has been really good at 6'2", and I think Ethan Wright could be a better Irv Smith potentially. And then we got Bob Berry, 73 overall, hidden dev. He's got 91 throw power. His accuracy is solid across the board. Everything looks really good. His speed and excel is good. His agility is good. His carrying is pretty good. And then we have Geddes. Geddes is a 74, normal dev, which just kind of sucks. But looking at his stats, they're pretty great. His catching is okay. He's charismatic. I don't know why I'm looking at that right now, but he only covers the ball in big hits, which I don't like to see. But he's a pretty balanced all-around running back, and his speed is pretty good. Again, more of a one-cut running back than a pure power back because he does have that 92 speed. His change of direction is pretty garbage, but that's what you see out of power backs sometimes. Okay, we got Alex West up next, the D tackle, 6'6", 300-pounder. Pretty solid around the board. He's kind of like Logan Hall a little bit, but a little bit stronger, and he's kind of the same speed. He's got 74 speed and 82 excel. But yeah, pretty raw. His block shed's about a 70. His power is a 70. And his finesse is a 68. So he's kind of just decent at everything. Not particularly great at one thing. And then up next we got Spriggs. He is a 70. Whoa, did I see something? Did I see a 60? I'm not sure. Spriggs is a 73, 87 speed, 89 excel, 76 hit power, 76 tackling. His block shedding is actually pretty good considering he is so small. So that's not bad. His man coverage is pretty good for a linebacker, not going to lie. And so now next we have Keenan Ross, who we drafted in the third. This is the one that is tough because he's got hidden dev, but he's only a 63. We know that his block shedding is piss. His man coverage is slightly better than Spriggs, but his block shedding is not good. His power and finesse are terrible. His pursuit is okay. Tackling's okay. Hit power isn't good. His zone's not even that good. He's a pretty raw player, but he's got hidden dev, so we can't give up on him. We're not going to give up on him. We're going to try to get him developed. Ben Jackson, we kind of skipped over him. Ben Jackson is hidden dev, and he's a 74, 91 strength, 79 run block, 72 pass block. A very good player with 73 speed and 84 excel. Just great all around. I'd love to see it. This is probably one of our best drafts. I mean, it's our first Bucs draft, but it's one of our best drafts, I think, overall. Tyrone McKenzie, drafted him at the end of the fourth round, and he kind of got shafted a little bit. I'm not really sure why. It wasn't Tyrone McKenzie. It was our last pick. Okay, so Tyrone McKenzie is a solid all-around player. He is more of a run stopper. He's got decent hit power. He had 8 hit power. I was hoping his hit power would be like a 90. It's only an 83. His pursuit is pretty good. His tackling is pretty good. His block shed is pretty great. But probably not going to get much PT. All right, lastly, we have Yancey, who was projected to be a second to third round pick, but we drafted him in the 6th. He is a 64 overall with normal dev at 5'11", with 84 speed, 89 excel, in the same mold as Keenan Ross and in the same mold as Brian Spriggs, but just a little bit worse. But not bad value for a 6th rounder. Could develop into something. We drafted 4 outside linebackers, so at least one of them we know is going to pan out. Spriggs looks very good. Keenan Ross has a long way to go to develop. He is the lowest overall by far, and we drafted him at the end of the 3rd, but he does have hidden dev, so we'll see if he can develop or not. I'm curious if there were any other crazy players in the draft, and the next best player was Frank Cooper, also a corner. John Meadows was a 76, only 89 speed. Hamilton was a 75. Anyone else? Ethan Wright that we drafted. Michael Davis. This is the guy that we were really interested in. He's normal dev, so I don't feel that bad. 86 speed, 91 excel, 80 hit power, 85 tackling. His zone is not very good. His block shedding is pretty good. So now that I know he's normal dev, I am not as upset about that. Taylor George gets drafted as a 74 at number 2. He is hidden dev at least, so I guess that's good for them. He has 95 throw power. His deep accuracy is very good. Speed is not too bad. Again, I would love to draft him, but you cannot pass up on Dominic McKenzie. Look at an 84 overall, man, the best corner in the game in the very near future at 21 years old. Yeah, I'm happily taking McKenzie over Taylor George every day of the week. Anyone else that stands out? We already talked about Devin Donnell. Darren Waddle was a bit of a reach. Manny McNeil looks really good. Randall Benjamin looks good. Harper looks good. Anyone else that we missed on? Sterling Dixon looked pretty good. He's a 74. And Colin Wall is a 70, so he's a little bit of a reach pick. He kind of reminds me of Zach Wilson, which is kind of funny. He got drafted by the Jets. Bob Berry we already looked at. And where is... Let's see. Is there anyone else? Schillinger we're looking at. He's a 71. Happy with who we got at center. Nazir Givens has 81 speed at DT. Let's see if he has hidden dev. He has hidden dev. So he's going to be an interesting kind of DT. He's got 81 finesse. Could be a very good pass rusher. He got 82 hit power as well. Could be an edge. At 6'2", he's 300 pounds, which is crazy. But, yeah, I like him a lot. I really considered drafting him, but we took West instead. Well, I guess he was already gone, but we took West after. And, yeah, no, I feel like we missed out. Or actually, we took West ahead of him. Never mind. We should have taken Givens, I feel like, over West. But one mistake is not the end of the world. And I don't see anyone else that we were really interested in. Lane Olsen was supposed to be the number 2 receiver in the draft. Is only a 69 with 94 speed. And that is pretty much it. Okay, the last guy I wanted was Cameron Meekins. He was supposed to be a day 3 player. And he kind of fits more what I want Keenan Ross to be now. He's 6 feet tall and he has 91 speed, 66 block shed. He's got 67 zone, 88 agility. Man's not that bad. And tough. Tough that he got picked up by the Falcons, so he's going to be in division. And I would like to trade for him, but we're going to let him go. He's normal dev. He may become a free agent anyways if he doesn't get PT. They might not re-sign him, and then we can get him. He's a very balanced player. Kind of in the mold of Christian Harris, who we have in the Lions franchise. Is a great coverage middle linebacker and has a lot of speed to him. But you know what? We're set. We got Devin White. We're okay. We got a bunch of other outside linebackers that we already drafted, so we're not going to go and try to trade for them. All right, guys. Well, I can say without a doubt after the draft that tanking for the number 1 pick, resulting in a generational corner, was absolutely worth it. And I mean, we didn't tank because we also, it's not like we were good, right? We also sucked. Our team wasn't very good. Now we got a quarterback. We got a new tight end. Even though Irv Smith was pretty good, we got another running back. We got some outside linebackers that can play coverage, and we got literally what is going to be the best corner in the NFL very soon in Dominique McKenzie. So thank you guys so much for watching this draft, and it was a really good draft. Definitely my best draft ever. I've never gotten a generational player before this draft. So hit the like, make sure to subscribe because we drafted that generational player, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace. All right, we're making one more offseason move, and we are trying to get Trayvon Walker for Joe Tryon. Joe Tryon also has star dev. He's a little bit slower. His finesse is solid. His power is solid. Trayvon Walker, I like him because at 6'5" and 23 years old, he's got 88 speed, 92 excel. His hit power is really good. His block shed and power move and finesse move are all good. His strength is good. His zone is about the same as Joe Tryon, and it could be considered a reach to give up Jamel Dean and Joe Tryon to get Trayvon. Trayvon also was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, though. I'm being semi-realistic, but we are going to offer Jamel Dean and Joe Tryon, and we're going to try to get back Trayvon Walker, and let's see if we can get a 3rd-round pick. And it goes through. So we now have Trayvon Walker on the team. We lost Jamel Dean, but here's the thing that's okay. We have Carlton Davis still on the team. We have Dominique McKenzie, who is a generational corner, and also Carlton Davis is now superstar X Factor after getting the top DB in the NFC, and then we still got Eli Ricks. So I'm turning this into getting Trayvon Walker, who is now going to be our premier edge rusher, ideally. He's going to move in and take over Joe Tryon's spot and hopefully excel and do even better. And we're getting a 3rd-round pick as well.